Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Delta Dental Stadium, home of the New Hampshire Fisher Cats here in Manchester, New Hampshire, AA affiliate of the Toronto Blue Jays, and our final New Hampshire championship game of the day. It is the Division II title game between the top-seeded Souhegan Sabres out of Amherst and the 2-seed John Stark Regional Generals from Ware, New Hampshire. Hello, everyone, again, alongside Steve Beals. I'm Ben Alcher. It has been a terrific day of championship baseball here in the state of New Hampshire. We have been treated to some terrific, hard-fought ball games throughout today. The bad news is the day started with rain, which knocked the Division IV championship game between Epping and Woodsville back to tomorrow. So that game will be played tomorrow morning on Father's Day. Happy early Father's Day to you, by the way.
Thank you very much.
And our first game of the day was the Division I championship game at 1 o'clock. Saw fifth-seeded Exeter hold on for a thrilling 3-1 victory over Cinderella 10-seed Winnicott. And in case you're just joining us, our previous game saw the Dynasty continue in Division III. Monadnock, the Huskies, taking home their fourth state title in 5 years at the Division III level with a come-from-behind 2-1 victory over the Bishop Brady Giants. So now we get to Division II. Only division that sees the top two seeds go into the championship game. And if you saw the way Division II played out this year, Steve, it's probably no surprise that these are the two teams squaring off for the state crown.
No question about it. You look at, again, the type of the teams. Souhegan beat Pembroke in the quarters 7-0, then goes ahead and beats Kingswood 12-2. Significant margins there, strong victories. On the other end of the bracket here, you got John Stark in the quarters beating Oyster River 10-4, and then blanking Hanover, and it looks like 9-0 in the semifinals, and then Souhegan and John Stark are here in the finals. Obviously, these are the two, without any doubt, these are the two best teams in Division II. Going to be a war. These teams have a history with each other in so many sports, in so many different events. So these programs all know each other, and both proud schools, and not too far from one another.
Nope.
Ware and Amherst are not too far away from each other. So looking for a good one. It's, with what we've seen so far, this is going to really be hard to top what we've seen so far. But the way this day is going, I wouldn't count it out. I think that good baseball. I said probably 4 or 5 times already. I'll say it again for our viewers and our fans in this game, that these, the quality of baseball that we're seeing in New Hampshire is just outstanding defensively, offensively, and the thing that I really like is cerebrally. These guys are smart athletes. They make good decisions. They understand what teamwork is, and we've seen that in the first 2 games. Looking forward to seeing it here. Hard to pick a favorite in this one, really, to be honest with you.
Certainly is going to be a challenge. Souhegan has very much looked like a dominant outfit throughout the year. They finished with just 1 loss during the regular season. If you add up their 2 playoff victories, they are 19-1 on the year.
Yeah.
John Stark, meanwhile, only 2 losses during the regular season. They are 17-2 overall. So definitely 2 of the dominant teams going in during the regular season. John Stark won the regular season matchup. This is one of those odd instances. They did not play during the regular season. I just looked it up. So, sometimes you run into weather issues. Obviously, we saw plenty of that through the month of April here in the New England area. But, sometimes Division II, it's a big one. You can't get everybody in on the schedule. So this is going to be the first meeting between the top 2 teams, and it comes in the championship game.
Yep, no question. Going to be officiated by another great staff. We just see it one game after the other. At the plate, Greg Surrett, first base umpire Mike Bonaval, and Matt Lemire, third base. No lack of experience here. Again, New Hampshire blessed with great players and great officials. So as they get ready here, as they get introduced, the fan bases between these two teams, pretty close communities, to Manchester to get here. But the fans have been loud. Boy, when you must put soundproof windows up here, because I went down to get food. Remember, we went downstairs, Ben, to the snack bar there, and boy, I'll tell you, it was loud down there, and that was just after the game. So a lot of spirit here, and this is just a great day that's put together by the NHIAA. Of course, everybody wants to get the 4 games in one day, but I think that it's certainly looking like they made the right choice to move that game till 10 in the morning, and be happy Father's Day for a lot of teams on the winning game tomorrow and the teams who have won today. But we saw John Stark coming in and Souhegan coming in. They had cheering sections as they were coming in, as the players were coming through. It just really, really good to see.
Well, just glancing down, there's a big General's flag being held aloft by a John Stark mascot. So plenty of support from the folks from Ware, and certainly they are not to be outdone by the folks from Amherst and Souhegan High School as well. Recent history for both these teams at this level. Souhegan, runner-up last year in a 13-3 loss to Bow. We talked about this a lot earlier in the Division I game with Exeter, so there is a redemption storyline a little bit here for the Sabres. John Stark making their first championship appearance since 2021. They shut out St. Thomas 10-0 that year to take on the state title. So there is some recent history, recent success for both of these programs.
And speaking of history, let's take a look at that mascot down there and who he represents. One of the toughest, greatest members of New Hampshire history, John Stark, in our country's history. This guy was an absolute stud, fearless man that led the movement to freedom and fought like a warrior. And I'll tell you, New Hampshire has a great history of participating in our revolution. And the John Stark Generals continue that celebration today. And we're awful lucky to have great people like that are giving us the freedom we have today. So just to kind of mark that, Souhegan Sabres. I don't see a Sabre.
No Saber-tooth Tigers out.
Two Tiger, but I'll tell you what, he is out there. They have one. I don't know if he's here today or not, but equally two proud programs here, two proud schools. Under Friday Night Lights, we've gone to do football games and basketball games at these schools, and there's a lot of pride in these programs, but and big baseball schools.
Well, Souhegan's long been one of the top programs in Division II, really across many sports, not just baseball, football, lacrosse, that sort of thing. But they're looking to get it done after coming up short to Bow a year ago, and hoping to put on a good show after we've seen, again, two great games earlier today, two very well-pitched games, well-defended games. We've seen hitters that work counts, so the table has been set and the bar has been set pretty high ahead of our final game today.
Last game clearly shows you do not have to have a high-scoring game to have an exciting game. What you got there demonstrated was, defense and small ball and stealing bases. Some of the back and forth on the gamesmanship and the looks like going to have the national anthem. But as far as stealing bases and watching all the pickoff attempts, it's been great.
So just about set for the national anthem, and then we will be underway with the Division II title game between Souhegan and John Stark Regional.
Looks like we got a trio.
Our broadcast today, as it always is brought to you by Beals Insurance Agency, with locations now in both Bedford and Londonderry. Whether you need home, auto, or business insurance, Beals Insurance will get you both the price and quality coverage that's right for you. Just call 603-471-9999 or visit BealsInsurance.com to request a free quote and start saving money today. Again, that's BealsInsurance.com.
Flags waving slightly in the breeze on what has been a chilly and cool mid-June afternoon here in Manchester as we get you ready for the final game of our championship Saturday, the Division II state championship between top-seeded Souhegan and second-seeded John Stark Regional. Should be a terrific battle between the top two teams in the region. Again, Souhegan 19-1 overall. John Stark comes in with a record of 17-2. Back along here with Steve Beals, I'm Ben Alcher, and let's get you set with the starting lineups. First, for the second-seeded John Stark Generals, who will be the road team here in today's title game. Joey Dykstra, the shortstop, leads it off. He's followed by the starting pitcher, Chase Philibot. Both these teams led by great pitcher-hitter combos in the lineup. Aiden Harris, the catcher, hits third for the Generals. Aiden Williams, the third baseman in the cleanup spot. He's followed by Ryder Brown, the first baseman, hitting fifth. Parker LeClaire, the DH, hits sixth. Travis Lasofsky, the right fielder, hitting seventh. Hayden Pond, the center fielder, hits eighth. And Ben Lebrecht, the second baseman, will round it out for the Generals. On the opposite side, it will be Braden Hickman towing the rubber. Hickman is a senior. He's put up some terrific numbers this year, and the big right-hander will be charged with trying to pitch Souhegan deep into this game. Take a look at the numbers on Hickman this year. He has pitched to a 4.2 earned run average. He was only allowed one earned run, though, this year, so he hasn't done a ton of pitching. He's thrown the third most pitches on staff. Actually, I had to double check. I get my stats crossed up when you're looking at spreadsheets. He's not allowed an earned run this year. So Hickman hasn't thrown the most, but it's been a pretty balanced effort among the Souhegan staff. Nobody's thrown more than 500 pitches. Mm-hmm. So you talk about going into this type of game where anyone and everyone is probably available. Mm-hmm. It may be more of a committee type approach that we see from Souhegan today.
Well, we saw that in the last game. We saw a starter go the distance on one side with Monadnock, and you saw a team approach, and both those programs work very, very well. So it works either way.
You wonder if we might even see a more
you could
scale back approach, 2 innings, 3 innings, that sort of thing.
At this level, you may very well. Just depends on the personnel they have and how close they are together in caliber.
Hickman starts off with ball one. We are underway at 7:18. Temperatures in the upper 50s. It's been cloudy most of the day. Dykstra flinches but does not go.
Great Lenny Dykstra. Wonder if it's a distant relative of the New York Met.
The more I see it, the more I start to think Dykstra's more of a common name than I originally thought.
Right. But in Red Sox fans' hearts, that was a rough year, 1986.
It's already a 3-0 count as Hickman in wearing the black and gold Pittsburgh Pirates-esque uniforms for Souhegan.
Yep.
He'll walk Dykstra on 4 straight. So already the Generals get a base runner aboard, and that'll set it up for the pitcher, Chase Philibot. He is John Stark's leading hitter at .373 on the year, 1 home run, 15 runs batted in. Generals sporting the bright red tops and the white pants with the dark blue helmets. And Hickman still looking to find the zone.
What does Dykstra play for? What position is he?
He is the shortstop.
He is the shortstop, okay.
He will lead away from first here. Philibot tight to the plate, flinches, takes ball 2. Boy. Greg Surratt working the plate, and at least early on appears to be a fairly tight zone.
It's been tight all day, really, when you come down to it.
That one just a little upstairs, and again, Hickman well behind in the count, 3-0.
Officiating for the most part has been stellar. Guys are in the right position.
That one catches the inside corner for a strike.
Yeah, when you crowd the plate, you live and die by that.
Little quick removal of the mask from Joe Mayo, the catcher for Souhegan, just trying to get Hickman to lock in here. That one's going to miss high, and a quick toss of the bat. Philibot excited as the Generals have something cooking already. 2 early walks, and that's going to draw a visit to the mound for the catcher Mayo. So here we go. Aiden Harris getting ready to step in. Hickman's taking a little bit of a long walk here. Greg Surratt just went and had a conversation with a member of the Fisher Cats staff. Now, because all of these games are being held in their ballpark, they're sort of not running things, but they're present. They're sort of making sure that the ballpark is well taken care of, assisting in various endeavors along the way, including production. Got great headshots on the video board. Groundskeeping crew has been here today, which was obviously extremely important this morning, helping to get the field ready from the rain. So, I'm not sure if Hickman maybe said something about the mound. There's no one on the mound right now, so maybe Hickman wants him to try to even it out a little bit. We'll have to wait and see, but we've got a brief delay here after a couple early walks by Hickman. And that would certainly lead you to believe he might think something is up. I mean,
with what now? With
the mound. Maybe thinking that
usually what happens if it's dug out too much and it's or
you need to work on the landing spot, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Well, they're going to let him take a couple brief warm-up tosses here just to stay loose. Certainly a bit of a rough start for Hickman, walking the first couple batters. Certainly if he feels like there may be something outside of his control that is affecting things, then certainly willing to speak up, especially in such an important situation.
You think that came from the pitcher? Or
I don't know.
Or is it something that they looked at and
initially it looked like it was
themselves?
just going to be a normal conversation. Mayo was going to go out and talk to Hickman. And then it looked like there may have been a comment from the Souhegan dugout, and then all of a sudden you noticed Greg Surratt over talking with one of the members of the Fisher Cats staff. So now it looks like Dennis Pelletier, the John Stark coach, is looking for an answer. And so he will make his way out into the huddle as well. Now, either way, we've reached a halting point here in this first inning. The umpires don't appear to be overly concerned. It appears to be a friendly chat from what we can glean. The only thing I've noticed is a member of the Fisher Cats staff make his way around the field and then call for assistance. Still waiting to see if there's going to be any movement. Well, this is always an interesting scenario when these sorts of things happen that are maybe outside of player and team control, outside of weather control, certainly. And
it looks like the grounds crew is coming out now.
It's a challenging situation for players on both teams. You know, you've sort of built the adrenaline up to this moment.
Yep.
And now, you know, when you sit around for a little bit, it'll die down.
No
and
doubt.
You have to try to build it back up.
But if it is going to happen, you'd rather have it happen after, you know, in the first inning in the very beginning. It looks like he's well, that's why you bring somebody out that knows what they're doing out there.
Whatever the fix was a quick one.
Yeah, you almost wonder if it was something where there was potentially going to be an injury. And you know, Greg Surratt's been around for a long time as an umpire, certainly a veteran and very accomplished official on the football field as well as the baseball diamond. So
may have been a necessarily say a liability thing, but
that's what I'm saying.
Where you're sort of borrowing the field from the Fisher Cats, you don't want to touch anything that the grounds folks also, generally have control over.
If it is a liability or an injury concern, as an umpire, you have custody of the game. You unfortunately you have to make sure that everything is safe. Otherwise, if something ever did happen, it stands to reason. So,
well, doesn't help out Hickman much. First pitch to
No.
Aiden Harris is a ball low, so still having some trouble locating the zone. 9 of his first 10 pitches have gone for balls. That one is a strike at the top of the zone. Down and in, 2-1. Early threat here from the Generals.
Yeah.
Walks by Dykstra and Philibot. Setting the table here for Harris. That one down low as well.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
really in the driver's seat here at 3-1.
Well, I was wondering on those walks, you'd say, hey, is there something wrong with the rubber? Is it moving? Is it not cleated properly in the ground? Or something like that, but that wasn't it. It was clearly whatever that mechanism was behind it. I don't know if it's I'm not sure if it's a sprinkler head that's kind of underneath a little door there, but whatever it was, the head groundskeeper came out and fixed it within seconds. So, but to your point earlier for Hickman, it's not good to have that break in the action when you've already walked 2, then you have a break like that. See if he can begin to get his locations a little more accurate as the game goes on.
This one hit into the air foul on 3-2. And it's very unlike Hickman. This is only his 7th appearance this year. He's walked 6 batters.
Yep.
Out of the 97 that he's faced. And he's done it 2-2 here so far. Ground ball towards short. Trudell up with it to second for 1. Throw to first, going to be late.
Yeah.
That'll set up runners on the corners, but Hickman can maybe take a bit of a breath getting the first out.
Yeah, that's a tough one to judge right there, but to be honest with you, you probably want to grab that force out. You can clearly see if you're going to play that deep and the ball's going to slowly bound, grab that force runner. Now watch this. He clearly had him here. Boom. But, hey, he got the force play.
I thought he could get 2.
Yeah, he did, but when you're playing deep and it's a slow bounder, that takes a pretty slow runner to get them out. But we got Aiden Harris. Now we got Aiden Williams.
Fouls the first pitch back and into the seats. Williams, the third baseman, hitting .271, no homers, 15 runs batted in for the Generals this year. Still a good situation for John Stark to try to work a run across.
Definitely, yeah.
Don't need a hit to do it. Runners at first and third with only 1 out after the fielder's choice grounder from Harris. That one foul tipped off the catcher, Joe Mayo. So Williams down in the count 0-2. Hickman is a strikeout pitcher. Struck out almost a third of the batters he's faced this year. And has yet to give up an earned run. That may change.
The last 2 or 3 balls that Hickman has thrown have been better than any of the others. Ooh.
That one just outside and a late jump, but a stolen base from Harris.
Yeah, I'd like to see that pitch again.
Mayo
just to try to
framed it.
get a window into what Greg is looking for. Again, this is when the plate's carved out at the beginning of the game, and then if they stay consistent, there's really no... It is the official's call of what his strike zone is based on what he sees coming across the plate. But as long as they're consistent, that a pitcher can work with.
Second and third now as the pitch is high to Williams. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Yeah, he's got first base open. It's going to be interesting if he figures, what the heck, do we just give him all outside, inside stuff, or preferably outside?
Fouled away.
Or not.
John Stark trying to get on the board here. Grounder up the middle. Hickman knocks it down. A run will come in. No play to be made. Hickman could only slow it down.
Yeah.
Nobody else could get to it.
That's kind of the, I don't want to say the worst thing, but if it's going to be in the infield, that's the worst thing you kind of want, because you can't even get to the second out. It's first and third again with good base running here by John Stark too. Look at, he reads that, and he turns the corner because of the slow roller once it got by the pitcher. And he scampered over to third base.
Chris Metz out just to ask Hickman make sure it hit his glove, not his hand, so he's not potentially injured here. So runners first and third again after the infield RBI single from Aiden Williams. The Generals jumping out to an early 1-0 lead. This one fouled away. It's Ryder Brown, the first baseman. 237 on the year, no home runs, 12 runs batted in. What an opportunity this is for John Stark to jump out to a big lead early. Already one on the board. And another rocket foul off the facing of the suite level and right back into a sea of red and blue behind the John Stark dugout. Still only one out in the inning. Grounder up the middle. Trudell charges. He'll make the throw to first. That's his only play. It'll get the second out, but another run comes in the back door as Harris scores. Yep. Williams advances to second. It's a 6-3 putout, but an RBI for Brown, and the Generals have a 2-0 lead. And that goes back to the stolen base from Harris. Sort of a overlooked play perhaps in the sequence, but without that steal, he's not in scoring position on that ground ball.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So the Generals taking every extra base here in this first inning. As Parker LeClaire, the DH, takes strike one.
If you're Souhegan here, you got a runner in scoring position. You want to get out of this inning, keeping him left on the base path.
Pitch up and away for a ball, 1-1.
One of the things that Hickman's got going here is he's starting to really, for first inning, he's going to have a high pitch count coming right out of the first inning here.
Up and in, ball 2.
I was able to talk to Jeff Kleiner in between the two games, and he was telling me that that was the last batter. Bear with me once I see what he does here. Swing
and a miss.
Yeah, that was
2-2 to LeClaire.
That was the last batter that Rollo was going to be allowed to face. He was over 120 pitches at that point, and that is the limit. You can finish the batter, but just so you know. Oh, he got the strike 3.
Yep. Inside corner. LeClaire down looking, and Hickman out of the inning, but he gives up 2 runs on 2 walks, an infield single, and a runner left in scoring position.
But yeah, Rollo was finished, at 124 pitches there, and I guess they realized at that point that was part of that little conversation that went on in between the last batter. There was that he was at his pitch count, and that was it for him, and he was able to finish the game. It was that close.
Only makes that moment more emotional
yes.
for the Monadnock starter in the victory.
Yes.
Well, now we move to the bottom of the first inning. John Stark in front 2-0, so he can coming to bat for the first time. Let's take a look at the starting 9 for the Sabres. Mm-hmm. Andrew Regan, the third baseman, will lead it off. He'll be followed by the second baseman, Matt Silk. Hickman, the pitcher, hits third. He's got 22 runs batted in on the year, better than an RBI per game average. The cleanup hitter's Cam Brown, the designated hitter. Batting fifth, the catcher, Joe Mayo. In the 6th spot, Jack Fiengo, the left fielder. Alex Trudell, the shortstop, hits 7th. Jaden Busquette, the first baseman, in the 8th spot. And rounding things out for the Sabres, the center fielder, Brody Smith, hitting 9th. On the mound for John Stark is their senior Chase Philibot. Unlike Souhegan, John Stark, more of what we've come to see from most of the teams throughout high school pitching. 2-3-man rotation. Philibot has been one of the leaders for the Generals all year long. He sports an 8-1 record and a 106 earned run average.
Wow.
He is one of their top 2. And he gets the ball here on Championship Saturday night. And we'll see what kind of start he gets off to. We just saw with Hickman, as good as the numbers are through the regular season and the postseason, this stage is a bit different.
Well, it's a bigger stage, and you know that the batting order you're going to face is going to be that much more lethal when you get to this point. The best is playing the best, and that's going to happen. It's Whoop.
Philibot's first pitch fired high into the air the other way to left field, and it will be reeled in by Ryan Nagel. He is the designated defender out in left field for John Stark, and Regan out after the first pitch, flies out for out number 1. That'll bring up the second baseman, Matt Silk, .344 hitter, 1 home run, 17 runs batted in for Silk this year. First pitch off the plate for a ball. Philibot staying in state after this season. He's going to go to Franklin Pierce, and that's a welcome addition, I'm sure, to a program that has been a baseball dynasty at the NCAA Division II level.
Yep.
You talk about excellent baseball, college baseball. State of New Hampshire has 2 of the best programs in Division II college baseball. Southern New Hampshire University here in Manchester, and over in Ringe, Franklin Pierce. So those are both programs that are consistently not only competing for regional titles, but competing for national titles.
And with that, what is the percentage of the roster that comes from our local talent in New Hampshire?
Probably a lot of New England players.
Pretty substantial, I believe. Jackson Marshall, right? He went over to
Southern New Hampshire.
Southern New Hampshire
and
University.
right into a starting role as a freshman.
Right into a starting role. Yeah, that's no surprise.
Which you're walking into a great program, and all of a sudden you're starting as a freshman. That's not easy to do. I'm sure the basketball coach is trying to convince him to walk on, too.
No question.
2-2 here from Philibot. Fouled off. That was in on the hands of Silk, just able to get a piece of it.
Well, that championship game was just something else there a little year ago. And you got to believe that he could put together that kind of success at the Division II college level as well. But he was a fun guy to watch.
One of those players who jumps off the screen, if you will, or when you're here in person, you can't help but
he can hammer
notice
the ball. When he comes around on it, he can hammer the ball as well. He can really drive it.
Silk takes low, works it to a full count, 3-2. Philibot delivers. That one down again.
Good eye on the plate right there. They need the same thing. They need base runners. You're down 2-0. You want to answer back with at least one. Get on the board.
So Silk will reach, 1 on and 1 out, and now Hickman a chance to try to make up after a rough first inning. He has been one of the top hitters, not just in his team, but in the state. He takes this one to left. That'll drop. A .380 hitter this year, Hickman. And he's got the first hit of the day for Souhegan. And here come the Sabres looking for the answer. Runners at first and second with 1 out, down 2-0.
Yep.
So that'll bring up the cleanup hitter, Cam Brown. The designated hitter, .271 with a homer, 10 runs batted in. But a better than .400 on base percentage.
Yeah, Souhegan liking this. 1 out, I should say, and you got 2 runners on, and you've got a left-handed batter coming up, your cleanup batter. This is, you really want to at least get one of these runners in. Let's see what he can do.
First pitch from Philibot, fired over for a strike. If this one turns out to be a different style of game, still may be close, but maybe more high scoring, could that play into Souhegan's favor with their pitching depth?
Absolutely.
Philibot fires low for a ball. Inning started off innocently enough for Philibot. Got the out on the first pitch he threw. And then walked Silk. Hickman singled. And now 1-1 count to Brown.
A great view coming in there on the screen right there. That's just a great perspective to watch multiple things going on there.
Chopper up the middle. Chance for 2. Dykstra takes it, then throws it away.
That'll be another advance.
Silk is going to score. Chance at a double play, and instead Souhegan gets a run, and the tying run in scoring position. Hickman retired, 6 unassisted on the putout, but Dykstra just uncorked one and got a little loose on the throw, and he knew it immediately as soon as he let it go. Brown on the fielder's choice and then advances on the E6. So it's now a 2-1 game as Joe Mayo, the catcher, steps up. And he'll take a strike from Philibot. And that will go down as an unearned run on Philibot's ledger. Selk would not have scored if not for the errant throw.
Nice pitch.
Strike. Pitting one on the outside corner there was Philibot. Well, you said Souhegan needed to get at least one this inning. They've already accomplished that.
You want to get on the board, now they're hungry for more. Got a runner in scoring position with only one out.
Chance for Mayo.
Yeah, that's a good pitch there.
Fights off the 0-2. Sending it to the backstop. It's actually 2 down in the inning. Hickman retired on the put out at the front end of the fielder's choice. So Philibot would love to keep it where it is with John Stark in front. Mayo pops it up.
I don't think that's going to be enough.
Shallow center field. It's the shortstop Dykstra settling under it, and he'll have it for the out that ends the inning.
Boy, if I was John Stark, I'd be pretty pleased with the net result of that. Still coming out with a 2-1 lead here after one.
They only allow one run unearned. It comes on a walk and a hit and an error. One runner left stranded in scoring position. Some offense early in this one. It's a 2-1 John Stark lead. We'll be back in a moment. This is Friday Night Lights New Hampshire in conjunction with the NFHS Network. Welcome back to Delta Dental Stadium here in Manchester, New Hampshire. Coverage of the Division II State Championship game brought to you by Friday Night Lights New Hampshire in conjunction with the NFHS Network. Back along with Steve Beals, I'm Ben Ulcher. A little bit of a different tone set in this start of the Division II title game. Much different, I think, than what we saw in our earlier games.
No question.
You know, there might have been some early opportunity to score, but here in the first inning, both teams on the board.
Seems a little more wide open, I would agree.
And not looking to threaten.
2-1, that was the total score last game. So, you know, I'm having a real hard time kind of seeing where these pitches are settling in. It's going to take a little while to do it. These guys are both different styles. Also, a lot of it's depending on the officials' strike zones as well, trying to get that down, and then
we'll see if they do settle in.
Because this is more like the first, to me, right now. This is Greg's pitching zone, strike zone is more like the first game under Jeff Kleiner. Second game was a little bit different.
Swing and a miss.
Nice pitch.
Well, there's Hickman with 2 strikeouts in a row. As Travis Lasovsky goes waving to lead off the second. Hickman, a big strikeout pitcher again. Struck out roughly a third of the batters he faced this year. Here is Hayden Pond, the center fielder, 132 with a 1 home run and 11 runs batted in. And he'll take inside for a ball. Bottom third of the John Stark order here in the second, Lasovsky, Pond, and Ben Lebrecq. Bond will take outside, 2-0. So that was sort of the question, is would the pitchers be able to eventually settle in and find their rhythm in this game? Hickman with back-to-back strikeouts, but now trying to find his spots again, but is behind 3-0. Couple early walks came back to bite Hickman in the first inning.
Nice pitch there.
3-0 doesn't mess around.
No.
That one a strike at the top of the zone. Pond was hoping it was ball 4. That one's a called strike
nice
3.
pitch.
Pond goes looking.
Yep.
Make it a hat trick for Hickman, 3 in a row, down by way of the K. So 2 down here in the second. And the 9-hole hitter Lebrecht steps in. Even 200 hitter this year, no homers, 9 runs batted in. And he'll chop the first one to the backstop. That one just off the outer half. Lebrecht evens the count up at 1-1. Send him twisting out of the way, and Lebrecht able to hold the swing. Two one.
Yeah, he's settling down now. He's getting better pitch counts, better location, even when he's missing. It's missing close, so it certainly looks. Oh, nice.
Taking to the right side, sliding play by Silk, pops to his feet and makes the throw. Silky smooth from Matt Silk.
I'll say that right.
No runs, no hits, nobody left. A clean second inning for Hickman, night and day from the first.
No question. He's settling in his pitches. He and his catcher working. He's hitting the locations the catcher's giving to him, and he's not waving off any pitches. He's just going with what his catcher is looking for after studying the various hitters. So it looks to me like Souhegan's, that's a smooth inning right there. That's what they're looking for. And not a big pitch count either. So he's able to, had a lot of pitches in the first inning. He's able to kind of offset that a little bit. He's got to get that in the third and in the fourth innings there to kind of balance that pitch count. I don't know if either one of these guys, to your point, I don't know if this is pitcher by committee or if this is going to be looking to get 5 or 6 innings out of the starter. I don't know. Probably game will determine that to a great degree, but let's see what happens here in the second inning for John Stock's battery here. See if they can get things settled down. Souhegan was able to get on the board. We'll see what they can do here. But one of the things that I noticed is the pace of this game is a little bit slower than the previous paces. Just felt like the other two games, the pitchers were moving at a fast, much more methodical. Not to say it's better or worse. I'm just saying it's that the pitchers are taking a little more time in between pitches. Maybe the issue with the back of the mound had a little something to do with it too. You know,
I want to get
slowing it down there. Yeah.
It is Chase Philibot out for his second inning of work. He'll face Jack Fiengo, Alex Trudell, and Jaden Bisquette. His first pitch, a strike to Fiengo. We talked about Philibot moving on to Franklin Pierce next year, staying in state for his college ball.
Great
he
to see.
Might see this matchup again at the collegiate level.
Mm-hmm.
Check swing was called the ball.
Yep.
Hickman from Souhegan is also headed to Division II, also headed in state. He is going instead to St. Anselm College down the road here in Manchester, right on the border of Goffstown. So we get
nice
Philibot Hickman here tonight. We might get Hickman v. Philibot in a Northeast 10 Division II game
college
next year.
matchup. Absolutely.
Off speed.
Yeah, he's going to get him for breaking his wrist. Yep.
And Fiengo with a glance back.
Let's take a look at this again. It looked to be a good call by Greg Surratt. Yeah, it looked to me like those wrists broke, and he crossed the plane. Yeah, clear. Yeah. It was tight, but I think he broke the plane.
Close to be sure, but Fiengo got the bad news from the home plate umpire, and Philibot has his first strikeout. So after an offensive-minded first inning, both pitchers trying to respond here in the second. Check swing, and that's a called strike on appeal. Alex Trudell unable to hold up. Sophomore hitting .244 in the year, no homers, 6 runs batted in. That one just off the outside edge, taken for a ball. Take a look at the defense here behind Philibot. Aiden Harris doing the catching. Trudell swings through that one. At first base, Ryder Brown. Second base, Ben Lebrecq. Joey Dykstra, the shortstop. Aiden Williams at third. Ryan Nagel, the designated outfielder, in left.
Oh,
off speed,
that was
just
close.
a little bit inside.
That was close.
Hayden Pond is in center.
Pitch.
And Travis Lasofsky in right field for the Generals.
Yeah, good-looking pitch there.
Trudell sends this one through the infield and in the shallow right. One out single for Trudell. Second base hit yielded by Philibot. And the Sabres try to kickstart the offense once again. That'll bring up the first baseman, Jaden Bisquette. Playing in just his 5th game this year. He's 2 for 8. No homers. And 4 runs batted in. 4 runs batted in 4 games.
That's pretty good production.
You have to say it's a good ratio to have. So the senior breaking in to the lineup late in the year, or getting an opportunity perhaps late in the season. Maybe just adding a left-handed bat in against a righty in Philibot. That could be part of the game plan as well for head coach Chris Metz. Two 2-0 to Bisquette. That one taken down and in. And again, Philibot falling behind a hitter here. Takes a moment. There's a brief jaunt around the back of the mound. Three O's down low. So 4-pitch walk. And Souhegan will threaten once again. 2 on and 1 out in the bottom of the second.
Yeah, I don't think neither pitcher or either pitcher is overly satisfied with the strike zone. But not on that pitch, but I'm talking about some of the others. In general, I don't think either one of these pitchers are too satisfied. I'm just watching the body language. But eventually you carve out, you learn that that's just, you're not going to get it, and then you start adjusting to the zone, the strike zone that the behind the plate umpire is going to be calling. And if it's, like we always talk about, if it's consistent, they adjust. But right now, trying to find it.
He'll get that call.
He got that one.
Brody Smith, the center fielder, hitting at .297. Good production, bottom of the order for Souhegan.
To me, the strike zone here is pretty reasonable left to right. But what is happening here is it looks like up or down from as far as the knees and the letters. That seems to be very rigid as far as how high or low that Greg's going to allow the ball to go here. But certainly doesn't look out of order. It's just every pitcher wants a wide strike zone. No argument there.
1-1 to Smith. Popped up, foul ground, and that will make its way out of play. No home runs, 8 runs batted in for the center fielder, who has better than a .450 on base percentage. So good general average numbers, but also really good on base numbers at the bottom of the lineup here for Souhegan. Philibot will step off the mound and look the runners back. That one well down and away.
Yep.
10 walks this year for Smith. That is tied for 3rd on the team.
Well, they're not keeping first base close. They're just keeping a close eye on second. But for a pitcher to look back at second, have to manage that at the same time. He's got to struggling a little bit with control, also having to face the batter and deal with all that. There's a lot going on there.
Ground ball to 3rd. They'll take it to the bag for 1. Throw to first.
Great
will
catch.
Not be in time.
That's a tough pickup right there.
Ryder Brown had to come off the bag.
Yep, he sure did.
And stab it. But Aiden Williams gets the lead runner at 3rd.
Yep.
So Trudell is gone, 5 unassisted. Busquets advances to second, and Smith is aboard on the fielder's choice. And more importantly for Philibot, 2 out in the inning.
2 outs. And he didn't leave a runner. He went to third. So he forced him out at third. So that's going to take a full base hit to score a runner at this point. So he's going to have an opportunity here to get out of here with essentially no runs coming in, with what seemed like a long inning and a lot of runners on the base path. So
it's definitely been a labor-intensive inning again for Philibot.
Definitely.
And he's got to deal with the leadoff hitter now again in Regan.
Absolutely.
Swung at the first pitch and flied out. So he's going to be determined to see more than one pitch in this at-bat. Takes the first one for a ball, cuts through that one.
That's the best pitch that Philibot's thrown all game so far. Yeah, boy, when he watch the velocity he gets on this. That's just great form right there. Yep, that's his pitch. That's what he wants to settle into right there. Good form. Let's see if he's able to do it consistently.
1-1,
yeah,
miss low.
Still not a bad pitch, though. He's just good. Give credit to these batters. All day long we've seen batters really guard the plate the right way and lay off, sucker pitches there. They've just done a terrific job at it. Speaks to the coaching here in New Hampshire. A lot of good coaching, because that's where that comes from, and these guys are doing a great job.
Regan tries to go the other way again and spoils it foul.
Again, that's a great pitch, good velocity. If he can stay into this groove, a lot of this is the windup. That he's very balanced on his delivery. He's not falling away from the plate or releasing it early and stepping to the inside. He's these last 2 or 3, even the one that went in the dirt there was a good sinking fastball.
Philibot steps off, has a brief conversation with his catcher Harris. Now has what he wants. Grounder up the middle, under the glove of Philibot, into center field. Around from second comes Busquets. The throw will be cut off. Now a throw back to second, and that goes into the outfield. Headed to third is Smith. And eventually John Stark decides it's just better to swallow the ball.
Yep.
A seeing-eye single by Regan, and we're tied 2-2.
Yeah, there was no reason to rush that throw to second base. He had him by a long shot. If you're going to look here in the replay, you're going to see that it's just that. Now watch this. Just rushes it to try to get him out. First thing happens, obviously gets into center field. He hits the cut beautifully, right? Don't have it on the screen there. Maybe we can get it for different. But he just completely rushed the throw. He had time to get him. You're going to see it probably right here. This will show it right here. So he gets out there for the center cut. First baseman comes across. Yeah, you got to set yourself and might have been a little closer than I thought, but you can't throw it off balance like that. Too risky. So
now
that ties it up.
Yep, tied at 2, and Souhegan with the go-ahead run at third and 2 outs for Silk, who walked and scored in the first.
Mm-hmm.
This one driven out toward left center field. Long run for Pond. He's back, and it's over his head. Couldn't quite haul it in. 1 run is in. Regan being waved around. He will score.
Yeah, he's really upset with himself out in center field, but give credit to the batter in Matt Silk there. He drove that ball.
It's a 2-run double for the senior.
Let's take a look at it.
And the Sabres have roared ahead.
I'm not sure that didn't hit his glove.
Yeah, he definitely got a piece of it.
Yeah, he got a piece of it right there. I don't know if he lost it in the lights. He tracked it pretty well. He ran. It seemed like he had it. He was camped under it. And watch, we're going to see right here. Now let's see.
This is a long run, though.
Yeah. Yeah, got to make that catch, though. Yeah.
Right on top of it. Just couldn't quite haul it in.
No, he's frustrated. He's more frustrated than anybody in the stadium here right now. He's really upset. You got to just shake it off and keep going. Easier said than done.
A 4-2 lead now for Souhegan, as Hickman falls behind 0-2.
And the problem with that, it's a collateral effect. The pitcher starts getting frustrated because his pitch count's going up per inning. Yeah.
Hickman takes that one outside. Well, that's just another example of what we've seen all day today, whether it's been the Division I game, the Division III game, but margins very, very small. And, a game of inches where the ball lands here, ends up in a glove there.
It's been evident in every game.
And again, coming to fruition in our final championship game of the day.
No question. And don't forget tomorrow morning.
We'll have one more chance to put it all on display. The D4 title contest between Epping and Woodsville. Sunday morning affair. Hickman, fouled it off of the catcher, Harris.
Yeah, that ball had some speed on it.
And he was immediately asking for a baseball. Greg Surratt says, hey, maybe take a second, fair fella.
Impressed with the tenacity of Souhegan right now. They really work hard to get runners in scoring position. They're trying to do it all, whether they can get a walk, steal a base. If you drive the ball, you're going to get those benefits where somebody may drop it, but you got to put the ball in play, and they're doing that.
Swing and a miss by Hickman. Big punch out there by Philibot, but not before the damage is done. 3 runs, all of it earned on 3 hits and a walk. And Souhegan leaves 1 in scoring position. At the end of 2, it is Souhegan, the 1 seed in front of the 2 seed John Stark, 4-2. Back with the 3rd next. This is Friday Night Lights, New Hampshire, in conjunction with the NFHS Network.
Our broadcast today, as it always is brought to you by Beals Insurance Agency, with locations now in both Bedford and Londonderry. Whether you need home, auto, or business insurance, Beals Insurance will get you both the price and quality coverage that's right for you. Just call 603-471-9999 or visit BealsInsurance.com to request a free quote and start saving money today. Again, that's BealsInsurance.com.
Welcome back to Manchester. Already a busy ball game. Almost as many runs in this game through 2 innings as we've seen total in our previous 2 championship games. In case you're just joining us, Division I saw Exeter top Winnicott 3-1. Division III saw Monadnock continue its run through state championships, edging Bishop Brady by a 2-1 final. And as we start the top of the 3rd, Joey Dykstra flies out to center. Souhegan already on top of John Stark, 4-2. Sabres got a run in the first 3 in the bottom of the 2nd. Chase Philibot will take one down and low from Braden Hickman. Had a nice second inning with a couple strikeouts. He gets Philibot to ground one, but it's through the left side by the dive of the 3rd baseman, Regan. And Philibot is aboard with a base hit. He's on for the 2nd time today with a walk and a single. So here comes John Stark trying to get the offense started again. And, of course, it's the pitcher Philibot leading the way. Catcher Harris will step in. First pitch down and away. Nice diving effort by Mayo, the catcher, to keep that from getting through.
That was a good save right there. Good movement.
That's high.
Yeah, John Stark would like nothing more than to get a walk here and put a couple of runners in the with 1 out, 3-0 here. Doubt you're going to see him swing here. And
Hickman misses high again. Remember, he started this game. First 10 pitches, 9 of them were out of the zone. And we had that delay. And then Hickman sort of started to find the zone, obviously was all around it in the 2nd. Appeared to have righted the ship, but mechanics are a funky thing. All it takes sometimes is one little hitch, and we're tripped up again.
Going to give him that high strike there, right at the letters.
It's like a little downward action on the end of it. Just caught the top of the zone.
Just a little bit. So full count.
And Harris will call time. After that second inning that saw Souhegan score 3, the John Stark section auspiciously quiet. And Harris sends it a mile high for the second base Silk. 2 down in the inning as Williams will step to the plate. Singled a run
that's
in.
what I was going to say. I thought he singled in the beginning, in the first at bat.
Did indeed. Drove in the first of 2 runs for John Stark in the first. And he'll take high from Hickman. And that one sends Mayo up out of his stance, 2-0.
Really releasing early, not finishing at all there. But other than that, it's been pretty consistently around the strike zone. Wow.
That one gets through. Pitch was inside. Philibot will scamper down to second on the wild pitch.
Taking direction here from the dugout out to the mound.
3-0. Williams likely to take one and will.
Good pitch.
Grounder up the middle, snagged by Hickman. He'll jog it almost all the way to first before flipping it for the out that ends it.
Get out scot-free.
Nice stab by the pitcher, Hickman. He dances around the 1-out single. No runs, no walks, a hit. And a runner left on base for John Stark. So Souhegan maintains the 2-run lead. And after a rough first inning for both starters, Hickman has settled in, only allowed the 1 base runner since. Meanwhile, Philibot still had to work through some issues in that second inning. And Souhegan it's a lineup that just doesn't really give you any reprieve.
No, it doesn't. And you see, I don't know if you saw that replay right there. That was really more of a check swing and contact. He wasn't really, he never really followed through, on that swing. And nice snag there by Hickman to help himself out. And to get out of that inning with no run scored is a real benefit to Souhegan. As you said, somewhat of a relentless batting order coming up. We'll see if they can continue this trend. They start adding on more scores, it's going to get more difficult for the Generals to come back. They're going to have to start registering some runs across the plate here pretty soon.
Well, we'll see what Philibot can bring them here in the third inning, if he can start to quiet that Souhegan offense a little bit. Again, top 2 seeds in Division 2 did not meet during the regular season. So sort of no real basis with which to work from other than common competition.
Yep.
And both sort of barnstormed their way to this championship game. Both got a first-round bye. Souhegan in the quarterfinals shut out Pembroke 7-0, and then rolled over 5th-seeded Kingswood 12-2 in the semis on Wednesday. John Stark in somewhat similar fashion, first-round bye. In the quarterfinals, they took out Oyster River, who was the 7th seed, by a 10-4 margin. And in the semifinals, avoided 3rd-seeded Bow, got 6th-seeded Hanover instead, and the Generals blanked Hanover 9-0. So very little resistance through the playoffs for either team. Cam Brown leads it off for Souhegan here in the bottom of the third. And again, Philibot struggling to find the zone here, falls behind 2-0. Brown
right on the
2-0. Tried to go inside out with that swing.
Yeah, they can't. Real difficult to do that with an inside pitch like that. That was a pretty good pitch there.
Wow. That one hit him. Looked like for a moment it got all the way behind him, but I think caught his front leg.
Caught his front leg, and those wind up oftentimes to be costly. Lead off, no outs.
Sabres looking to set the table right away once again.
Yeah, actually hit his back leg.
Brown tries to walk it off as he heads down to first.
Yep.
Coach is checking on him briefly, but he's giving no indication that he's going anywhere. Leadoff runner on. Here's the catcher, Mayo. Popped out to short his first time up. He'll take off speed for a strike. Souhegan, a runner-up last year, losing 13-3 to Bow in this game. That was their first championship game appearance since 2017. Their last title came in 2016 in a one-run game against Portsmouth. Mayo, foul, tips it off the end of the bat.
Yeah, he's throwing some pretty good breaking pitches there. It looks like a straight curve, but he's starting it out over the middle of the plate, and he's getting Mayo to lunge on it. Really need an out here if you're John Stark. You got to get an out on the board. A strikeout here would be a real benefit to them.
That one almost pulled away.
Again, speaking of that, his windup pulled away. His lead foot was about 2 to 3 feet over to the left side. Really fell off the rubber there.
It was a nice backhand stab by the catcher Harris to keep it from getting through. 1-2. Off speed, Mayo sends this one high into the air out towards deep left, pushes the outfielder back.
You got it.
And the catch is made by Nagel. Well, that's another one. He had to go a long way, almost back to the warning track.
Yeah.
As Mayo put a charge into that ball, but it is a loud out number one.
But he tracked that really, really well. If you watch his glove go up, he starts to shield himself a little bit. Yep. And he was in position. It still was moving. It was sailing. Yeah, he just really got around in that ball, and it just kept on going. But good catch, good recovery. Give him credit.
First pitch to Jack Fiengo, low for a ball. You wonder, I mean, it's different from a high school field, just maybe in the nature of the stands and somewhat with the dimensions. Mm-hmm. But as an outfielder, it's got to be a bit of an adjustment, and we saw it on that catch by Nagel and the earlier miss by Pond, just trying to deal with all that extra room and that feeling of just sort of being out alone almost in nothingness.
Yep. Yeah, no, I would agree. And plus the big stanchions that go up here in the second deck and all the things. But what he did was he focused on the ball, I thought, quite well, and he got his glove up in position that if it did sail a little bit, it wasn't going to sail by him. So still a good catch.
2-1 count. That hits the outside corner. 2-2 now to Fiengo. Philibot trying to work through a leadoff hit batter. Got a nice catch by Nagel for that first out. That could have been real trouble if that one had gotten by him. Called strike three at the knees. Third strikeout for Philibot is first looking.
Well,
and a much-needed second out there.
Yeah, I mean, you get a leadoff hit with nobody out, and now you've got 2 outs in a row. That's a good pitch right there.
Even Fiengo knew it.
The way he throws the ball, he does follow. Even when he's got his good stuff, he's falling away a little bit, but it's just got to control it. Now watch, that foot's going to be on the left-hand side, and then he falls away from the pitch. That's just his windup. But when he starts struggling, it goes much further to the left when he misses. There you go. That's a good pitch right there, yeah.
Big swing and a miss by the shortstop, Trudell.
Good high heat right there, up and in.
Singled back in the second inning. Fastball called, strike 3.
Wow.
Back-to-back Ks for Philibot.
What a nice comeback there.
And he answers emphatically after hitting the leadoff batter. No runs, no hits, and a runner left for the Sabres as Philibot puts up his first goose egg. Souhegan remains in front 4-2. We'll take a timeout. This is coverage of Friday Night Lights New Hampshire Championship Baseball in conjunction with the NFHS Network. Well, back underway as Hickman not waiting around, gets things going quickly, and Ryder Brown answers right away with a line drive single. So John Stark trying to get things going here in the top of the fourth, and Brown gets him going with a base hit.
Yeah, it's a good hit. Good piece of hitting right there.
Brown with a ground out RBI.
Stayed
in
right in the box. Yep, nice job.
And has the third hit of the day for the Generals. That'll bring up Parker LeClaire, the DH, who takes ball one. He'll be followed by Travis Lasofsky here in the fourth. Foul tip off the end of the bat from LeClaire. Now this is the part of the lineup where Hickman got things going. 3 strikeouts to the bottom 4 in the order. First time through for Hickman against John Stark. Swing and a miss. LeClaire unable to catch anything on that one.
Looked like he got the pitch he wanted. He just kind of waved at it and swung on a miss.
Gets enough of that one to foul it away. And talk about Hickman settling in. He's only given up 2 base runners.
Whoa,
This
that
a
stayed
roller
in.
up third.
Oh, no, it was off of his foot.
And yeah.
Yep.
LeClaire even points down, says, this is where it hit me.
Oh, well, when you saw where it hit in the ground, how did that stay
Yep.
in? Well, it's because it got caromed right off the inside of his cleat. That isn't going to.
Just 2 base runners allowed by Hickman since the end of the first, including Brown here. Foul tip into the mitt. And LeClaire goes waving. 4th strikeout for Hickman. And that'll get to the right fielder, Lasofsky. Himself a strikeout victim leading off the second.
Yep.
This is where the Generals need to find some production from the bottom part of the lineup. Off speed, in for a strike. And Lasofsky behind the count 0-2.
Yeah, tough to time yourself on that.
That one's high. Nice combination of juniors and seniors in this John Stark lineup, so sort of leads you to believe that they'll continue to be competitive outfit going forward. This one fouled away by Lasofsky, stays alive at 2-2.
Looks like he was trying to go to opposite field there.
And there are 3-4 hitters, the Aidens, Harrison Williams, both juniors.
Yeah, Brody Smith, I think, out there in center field, if I'm not mistaken. He is right directly behind second base, so playing it as if he could hit to either alley with equal consistency. You don't see that very often. You always usually see some sort of a shade, but he's directly.
Off speed, called strike 3.
Wow, you can't lay off that one.
Breaking ball at the top of the zone. Another strikeout for
Yep.
Hickman, his 5th. And Lasofsky goes for the second time. So 2 down, and the leadoff single by Brown looking more and more like an albatross here with 2 out as Hayden Pond
Got under it.
puts the first one into the air. Second to make its way out of play. Oh my goodness. Backing up into the tarp was Regan, the third baseman. Fortunately, he will be helped to his feet. Doesn't seem too much the worse for wear. I just don't think he saw that. I mean, certainly didn't see it coming because he was backpedaling, but no one gave him a heads up.
Yeah, but how often are you used to playing in an environment with it? He did look at it. That was the thing. I think he looked at it, and he still almost caught it. Did you see that? It actually came down and hit on the top of his glove. I think he's okay, though, fortunately.
Just maybe more frustrated he didn't catch the ball than anything else.
Yeah, I think so. But it did look like he had it in his vision there.
Here's a bunt bid. Hickman will field, set, throw in plenty of time. So Pond is retired on the bunt bid, 1-3. And Hickman works around the leadoff single without any trouble. No runs, no hits, a walk, and a runner left stranded by the Generals in the top of the 4th.
Yep.
And Braden Hickman. Well, we talked about how would Souhegan approach this game, first of all. because Hickman, his numbers have been unbelievable, but he had not thrown the most on the team. Led you to believe maybe he was not necessarily guaranteed to be the top guy.
Mm-hmm.
But he's come in.
So far,
and
working
after
out.
a rocky first inning, he has been very much locked in.
Yeah, we don't know the inside of the health of the rest of the staff either. Did he peak early at the end of the season? You'd have to get inside the other games there. But so far, he's held John Stark, a team that knows how to produce runs, to just 2 runs here after 4 full innings.
And some credit should probably also go to Chris Metz, because the Souhegan head coach, when you're watching your pitcher go through that difficulty in the first inning, it's such an important game with high stakes, and if you feel like you have other options,
second guess
you
yourself.
might be tempted to make an early change, not knowing if Hickman will right the ship. He waited him out, and Hickman has rewarded him with a very strong 3 innings since.
Yep. Yeah, if you're going to start a pitcher, you got to give him a couple innings. Usually, that's if things just continue to go down to hell, you've got a good view in the back of the mound there. What looks like that whatever that grate is back there.
It's for the cleats.
Oh, is that what that's for?
Okay, so kick off the dirt.
There was something behind that, right? There was like a little hole in the
ground.
ground.
Might have been a sprinkler head.
I think that's what it was, probably poking up. So, yep.
Well, as we talked about the patience with Chris Metz and his starter, Braden Hickman, Dennis Pelletier.
Definitely.
Trying to show the same with Chase Philibot, who's coming off his best inning in the third.
It's 4-2 after 3.5 innings.
Still some baseball to be played.
Yes, sir.
Busquets, Smith, and Regan due up for Souhegan here in the 4th inning as Busquets swings through that.
Yeah, that's when he's throwing the ball with control. It's all in his wind-up and delivery and his balance as he approaches the plate. It happens, much better right there. That's a good pitch. Even though it's a little low, that's a good pitch. Like to see him keep on doing that, drive that lead leg towards the plate.
Busquets walked and scored in the second. This one inside. Maybe looked for a moment like he was trying to say it hit the top of his foot.
I don't know.
Not getting the good news. Instead, it's a 3-2 count. Oh, yeah, it looked like it hit his foot. Instead, called strike 3.
Nice pitch.
And Busquets going to go back to the dugout frustrated.
So both these pitches seem to be in this middle part of the game here, settling in. And I would say both of the velocity the velocity of the pitches is growing. That's always a good sign, and good
sign for the pitchers, not such a good sign for the hitters.
No, but like I say, if you're an offensive player, you tend to lean on offense. But
there you go.
If you
Brody Smith takes this one the other way toward the gap, it'll drop in for a base hit. Osofsky over to cut it off quickly. A 1-out single for the 9-hitter. That'll bring up Regan. RBI single his last time up. He would also score on the big double by Silk.
Yep.
Nice job. You see on the replay there, Smith got his hands inside the baseball.
Yep.
So here come the Sabres once again, the top of the order. Runner goes, pitch outside, throw down, not going to be in time.
Yeah, he got a really, really good jump. They weren't really holding him. You're going to see, hopefully you'll see the lead that he had ahead of time. See if we can get it from the other thing there, if we can get this. I don't know if we'll be able to get that or not. Yeah, I mean, he just had a tremendous lead. And
team leading 12th steal of the year for Brody Smith. That's a strike.
Nice pitch.
1-1 now to Regan. 1-2. We'll see. It was a pretty good catch to release from the catcher Harris, but just a better jump from Smith. Regan tries to go the other way with it. Instead, fouls it back.
This could be on the roof deck.
Well, they don't stay up there for long, that's for sure. Angled enough that it usually makes its way down to the river.
Hilton Garden Inn out there, all the lights on inside. Really a nice addition to this field. Kind of gives it a nice feel and flavor with the parking garage in the background there.
Breaking ball, just
close.
missed low.
Just missed, yep.
So with the steal, no double play opportunity here. Only one out in the inning and a runner in scoring position with Souhegan looking to threaten again. Swing and a miss.
Nice pitch.
Had him all balanced there. Regan out in front of it. Strikes out. That's number 6 for Philibot today. So both pitchers, after rough first innings, ratcheting up the strikeouts successively.
Yeah, wind-up delivery. This is Philibot's best inning so far. He's really look at the movement towards the plate, almost on every pitch. I know I've said it 4 or 5 times, but hey, we're in our third game, so I guess it's not that many. When you the hitter's ability to avoid and work their counts in their favor due to their ability to know when a pitch is out of the strike zone has really been impressive all day. It's an art. The best hitters know how to do it, and if they don't know, they know how to foul off. That's an art in itself as well, but these guys are really good.
Ground ball, foul off of third by Silk.
Yeah, he's upset. He had the pitch he wanted right there, and he kind of leaned on it, but it looks like it had a little bit of a drop. It just got underneath his bat, and he just pounded it in the ground foul, but he clearly got the pitch he was looking for there. Watch him. He just sits on this, and he missed it.
He's got the key hit of the game so far.
Yeah, he knew it. That was what he wanted. It was kind of a little, not a complete hanger, but a little bit.
That one, a fastball that pegs the outside corner.
Nice pitch.
Silk rocketed a 2-run double off the glove of the center fielder Hayden Pond in deep left center his last time up. It was a long run for Pond. Had a shot at it, just couldn't pull it in. That one close. Philibot, couple steps toward the dugout, wanted the call, didn't get it.
Yeah, a little high. I think it's consistent with Greg's strike zone here. That hasn't been a strike in the past. So yeah, that's up outside.
So Silk will get a 3-2. Smith leading off second with 2 down in the 4th. Called strike
nice
3.
Pitch. Boy, that's a great inning.
Philibot strikes out the side.
Yep.
And the Smith single will not matter. No runs.
Yeah.
A hit and a runner left in scoring position for the Sabres.
Chase ought to be happy, very happy with that inning. That's his best stuff that he's thrown all game. And, you know, if Stark can put together a couple runs here to tie it up the way he's pitching, things can turn around really, really fast. We'll see.
See if the Generals can turn the momentum around. We'll take a quick timeout. This is State Championship Saturday on Friday Night Lights, New Hampshire, and the NFHS Network.
Our broadcast today, as it always is brought to you by Beals Insurance Agency, with locations now in both Bedford and Londonderry. Whether you need home, auto, or business insurance, Beals Insurance will get you both the price and quality coverage that's right for you. Just call 603-471-9999 or visit BealsInsurance.com to request a free quote and start saving money today. Again, that's BealsInsurance.com.
On we go to the 5th inning. Souhegan in control since the 2nd, leading 4-2. As pitchers on both sides have started to take over the game here the last couple of innings. Braden Hickman has only allowed 2 base runners since the 1st. He faces Ben Lebrecq of John Stark here leading off the 5th. Both Hickman and Chase Philibot piling up the strikeouts. Lebrecq fouls that one away. 5 for Hickman, 6 for Philibot. Actually make it 7 after striking out the side in the 4th. Swing and a miss. There goes Lebrecht. And add one more for Hickman.
It's just both pitchers mowing these guys down right now.
3 out of the last 4 retired via the strikeout for Hickman.
It doesn't surprise me that either one of these pitchers, when you see them when they were warming up before the game, and even when they were struggling in the first inning or two, you could see that they had good stuff. Boy, that tarp is getting a workout over there.
I'm sure that'll delight the grounds crew here even more.
Absolutely.
Back to the top of the order here for Joey Dykstra. He takes a called strike behind 0-2. He walked to lead off the game, would come around to score on an RBI single by Aiden Williams. And takes that one in the shoulder. Not a great deal of movement there by Dykstra, but he'll let it hit him and take the free pass. First hit batter of the day for Hickman. And here comes Philibot. He has been aboard twice today, a walk and a single. In both cases, the pitcher, also one of the best hitters.
Nothing like at this level, no DH hitter. You get a chance to help yourself.
Oh, you might have the DH just for, position.
No, depending on
the
yeah, that's true.
This one driven the other way to right field, forcing Max Hayes, the designated fielder, back, and he will make the catch. So right on cue, the designated fielder for Souhegan makes a nice play out and right on a well-struck ball by Philibot.
Not many balls in the alley today. There's been a few, but not many for almost 3 full games here, with 2 games and 5 innings. Most of it's been hits. He hit that pretty darn well. That goes in the alley. That thing doesn't. That thing definitely bounds to the wall.
Instead, it's a loud second out. First pitch swinging is Harris. Popped up. And no one can see it. It's going to come down. The runners will be at first and third. Everybody was staring up for the Souhegan infield, and no one could find it.
It looked like the ball hit the runner when he was running, but I believe he was in the path. They're going to challenge this right now, and we're going to see what's going to happen. But I believe we'll see on the replay here. Watch this. Watch the runner as he goes by. Yeah, I think it hit his helmet.
Nope.
I don't think it was enough that it's going to be called. Nope, they're going to let him stay. He saw that the coach saw what I saw, and I thought it might have glanced his helmet, but may not. It was inconclusive, but it looked like it kind of. If that makes
This one blasted high.
Came around early. That's out.
Down to the right field line and just
into
effort. The bullpen area.
Good effort.
Hayes gave it a look, but
this is a pretty good sized field as far as the alleys are concerned. But this one area here, it's probably down in that 306 section down there. That'd be about it tonight. He got around on that one, but this is really important for Stark to score here.
Aiden Williams, ground ball through the right side, base hit. The run is in. It's a 1-run ball game. John Stark taking advantage of the miscue with the lights.
Yep.
And Williams drives in his second run of the ball game.
Yep.
John Stark has the tying run in scoring position with Harris at second.
A lot of respect for the arm in right field there. Yep, and it comes Ryder Brown. So he did not advance the runner. I thought he was going to stretch it to third, but would have been close. But that's a hard out to throw from right field deep like that. A lot of respect for his arm.
0-1 to Brown. Ground ball to third. Regan scoops it, throws it, and it's in time. So Hickman will get out of the inning.
Very important run, though.
But John Stark builds back some momentum. They get a run on a hit batter and 2 hits. No errors and 2 left on board for the Generals. It's now a one-run game again. We had a boatload of these today.
Tell you.
And we got another one here headed towards the late innings.
Didn't feel like this 2 innings ago. It felt like Souhegan was kind of in control of the game. You kind of got a feeling when they'd get out, when John Stark wouldn't get any runs, you kind of got the feeling that Souhegan was going to continue to widen the gap here. But didn't happen, and here we are, the bottom of the fifth. And, we've got ourselves another one of these games.
Well,
different tempo to this game versus the other two altogether.
Certainly, and part of the reason that Souhegan has not been able to pull away twofold, Philibot started to settle down, especially over the last 2 innings.
Absolutely.
And then, look, weird things happen sometimes in games like this where, your left side of your infield just can't find a ball in the lights. And again, it's one of those plays, and we've seen a couple of them throughout the day today, whether it's been in this game or previous championship games, plays that not necessarily errors by the way you sort of book it, but an error in the sense of a miscommunication, as we saw in the Division III game, or, making an extra throw when you don't need to, and then the ball gets away.
Chasing runners,
absolutely.
absolutely.
Sort of thing. So,
but on
which
that
team
play
is
right
able
there,
to limit those types of plays or overcome those types of plays, that's usually been the sort of deciding factor.
True, and on that fly ball, the infield fly ball that landed, that ball went up in such a hurry. That went up in the sphere. I lost complete contact. I was looking for where the fielders were.
Exactly.
And I couldn't tell where if any of the fielders had a beat in the ball whatsoever. So that thing just must have gone up into the night sky.
No one got a great look at it. So here we go to the bottom of the fifth. Souhegan looking to answer.
Right at him.
Drive. Hickman shot it on a cannon right at Brown, who gets low to squeeze it for the out.
Most line shots have been right at players. A lot of fly balls to the outfield, the deepest shots. Been a few to the alleys. Couple of great plays. Couple of run them down in the left-hand corner down there. One with John Stark, and the other one in the prior game with Monadnock. But most everything has been right at them pretty much.
Swing and a miss by Cam Brown for strike one. And when you go back, you saw that replay of the line out from Hickman. If that ball's a foot to the left or right, that's easily through for a base hit.
No question.
Just happened to hit it directly at Ryder Brown. So here is Cam Brown, who was hit his last time up. That one in on the wrists, and he'll foul it off to third. Also reached on a fielder's choice back in the first inning. Sabres have had a runner on base every inning so far. Philibot has gotten better as this game has gotten deeper. That one, the hands
tied him
again,
up.
and Brown just fights it foul.
Yep, tied him up on the hands. You can definitely feel the last 10 minutes maybe. The temperature's probably dropped 5 or 6 degrees.
Feels like there's a bit more of a breeze as well. Probably two things that go hand in hand. Philibot slipped and fell on the end of that.
Just took a fall there. Looks like his lead foot just kind of slipped on the soil. It's kind of wearing down out there.
No motion from the dugout, so evidently they think nothing to sneeze at there.
Nope.
Swing and a miss.
Got him on a high one.
Another strikeout for Philibot, his eighth.
This is leading right in now with 2 outs. They can get out of here with no runs. They just clawed back and got 1. This is going to be a very interesting top of the 6th inning if they can get out. Yeah, that breeze is definitely picked up. You were right.
Blowing out towards left field.
Yeah.
That's where those flags are stationed in left center. Swinging on the first pitch, popping it up, shallow left. Long run for Pond, and he'll get there.
Yeah.
Left the hat about 10 feet behind him.
Yep, and
he's going to keep on running all the way to the dugout.
He was not going to let that happen again. Give him credit.
A 1-2-3 inning for Philibot, his first of the day. He's out of it quickly. John Stark back to the plate, down by 1. On to the 6th we go next here on FNLNH and the NFHS Network. On we go to the top of the 6th inning. Souhegan leading 4-3. The top seed in Division II trying to take home the state title after finishing as the runner-up a year ago. John Stark took the early lead. Souhegan able to answer back, grab the lead in the second. The Generals able to carve into the deficit, make it a 1-run game, courtesy of a lost ball in the lights and then an RBI single from Aiden Williams in the top of the 5th. This is a crucial part of the order, though, coming up for John Stark here in the 6th inning. Parker LeClaire, Travis Lasofsky, and Hayden Pond. And I say crucial, Steve, in the sense that this is the part of the lineup that Braden Hickman has just carved through today.
Yeah, gotta step up here.
First pitch swinging, fouled away by the DH LeClaire.
But you can't get too aggressive at the plate. You got to try to work the pitch counts to your favor so you get the pitch count you want.
A 1 misses inside, sends LeClaire spinning out of the way. This has been a definitive line in the John Stark order today. Top 5 players have all 5 of the Generals' hits. Bottom 4 in the order are combined 0 for 8 with 6 strikeouts.
Yeah, Parker's done just what he needed to do here.
And he's ahead 3-1, so he's got a chance to try to work his way on with a walk.
Yep, he's worked the count.
Now he'll swing away and foul it to the right side, back to 3-2. All 6 of Hickman's strikeouts have been against this part of the order. And he won't get that one.
Yep, but
down
he got
low.
on. They got what they wanted.
So LeClaire works a walk. It's the first walk allowed by Hickman since his control issues at the beginning of the ball game.
No question.
The only other trouble he's had since was the hit batter in the 5th to Dykstra. And it looks like we may get a pinch runner here.
Well,
Dennis Pelletier has got the lineup card out. He's talking with Greg Surratt.
I've always gone with the idea of you got to do whatever's necessary to tie and get that first run. And if you've got a speedster runner on there, looks like that's exactly what we're going to do. That's just at this late in the game, that run is crucial.
And they're going to call on the left fielder, Ryan Nagel. Well, remember, we saw him track down a ball in the corner earlier on a long run. So Nagel, who is ostensibly the designated outfielder, is allowed to come in as a pinch runner here. So he will run for LeClaire. Lasofsky squares to bunt, pulls it back, takes a strike. No disguise as to what Lasofsky was doing there. He had squared before Hickman threw, now gets the bunt, pushes it foul, and is down 0-2, so that may have to lead to a change of plan here.
Yeah, he kind of got his body way behind it, and he kind of let his bat out there. You really want to square off in front of that plate and have your body in position to be able to adjust the bat accordingly. But those are the little things in the game. You got to get that runner in scoring position.
2 swing and a miss. Hickman blows him away with the high heat. Another strikeout for Hickman, his 7th. So runner on and 1 down here as Pond, the center fielder, steps in.
Yeah, Travis. Travis is frustrated with that at-bat. I get it. He'd like to have that opportunity back again.
Pond takes high for a ball. Senior struck out looking and then tried to drop down a bunt his last time up. Hickman threw him out at first. That one hits the front corner of the plate, 1-1. No evidence here that the pinch runner Nagel is thinking about stealing. Not an overly big secondary lead. Ground ball to third. Regan going to go to second for 1. Throw on to first is not in time. Nice backhanded pick by Busquets. He thought it was in time.
Yeah, Souhegan will take that, though. They got that lead runner. That's just a great job getting it to second base. This is not an easy field and throw right here. It's a slow bounder. Look at that. That's just great form getting it to first base. Good attempt for the turn, but just too much speed there.
Yeah, you would have almost forgiven Regan if he had just gone across the diamond to get the out at first and given up the lead runner.
Yeah, but he got the lead runner.
Ended up
Yep.
saving his team 90 feet.
Yep.
And Lebrecq fouls the first pitch from Hickman off.
Yeah, this is an opportunity to get the leadoff runner on, or leadoff batter on, I should say. And you got 2 outs with still a guy on first. That's probably a
now
good
the
move,
runner
but
goes, throw down, not going to be anywhere close. Nobody covering the bag.
No, caught him asleep there. Never thought he was going to go. The little bit of confusion after every single play and every single out, you want to make sure that the shortstop and second base communicate and say who's got it on a steal. And my personal opinion is that's the second baseman gets that with a right-handed batter. Let the second baseman go and get that, and leave your shortstop in position for pull.
So Pond steals second. Tying run in scoring position now, but it'll take something from Lebrecq. He takes high. That's a ball.
Now with first base open. We'll see what
the
they give
lineup
him.
will turn around here. You want to get out of the inning right now if you're Hickman. And Lebrecq takes a strike. He had already discarded the bat. He thought it was ball 4. And then got the bad news and has to go apologize to Greg Surratt.
Give him credit. He knows umpires don't like that. And he went right back and he let the umpire know, sorry about that.
3-2 foul back. Lebrecq was absolutely going to swing at anything halfway close there.
Greg appreciated that, that it showed a lot of class right there.
3-2 again. Fouled away again.
He's getting his bat on the ball.
Just can't keep it in fair play.
Yeah, I mean, they are giving him big time. That
and
right
Hickman
field
is just coming.
Yeah, he's coming,
right
but that left field line is completely woo.
That one outside, and Lebrecq this time fired up as he hops his way down to first.
Well, that's the kind of stuff that jacks people up. Jacks his teammates up.
Well, he knows he's done his job turning the lineup around, and he's giving Dykstra a chance here.
You want this run right now. You don't want to have to get it in the 7th inning. You want to go in with a tie score in the 7th inning at least
Just
when you're in this situation. Wasn't missed by much. That was good framing there by the catcher.
As we talked about a little bit earlier with these catchers, I mean, even at this level now, you're learning to frame so much earlier than probably catchers used to in previous years.
Yep.
But sometimes when you exaggerate the frame, that can make the call a little bit easier for an umpire.
Well, a friend of mine who coached for he played for the Buffalo AAA team.
The Bisons,
The Bisons.
That's the Blue Jays AAA affiliate.
That is correct.
Players will often go from here in New Hampshire.
And he told me
to
he's a pitcher and a very successful pitcher, obviously. And he said that the catchers make a mistake. They say they want to start it outside and then bring it in. No, in reality, what you want to do is work inside out.
Dykstra pops it up on the infield. Silk staring up into the night sky, pulls it in, and Hickman is out of the jam.
How about Souhegan working themselves out of a jam? That's just good defensive baseball. And these pitchers are going deep into this game. Got to give both of these guys a lot of credit. They're giving their team a chance to win with a 4-3 game. I don't recall a championship doing 3 games where they were all this tight and close going right into the 7th inning. This is, or certainly at the end of the 6th, unless if they get Souhegan out, they're going to the 7th with a 1-score game. But that's not done yet.
Hard to ask for much more.
No.
In terms of drama and excitement. John Stark a chance there in the 6th. Even with the bottom of the order, they managed to work a couple walks. Did not get a hit off Hickman, but got the tying run to scoring position. In the end, they strand 2.
With two things that really check in here tonight of these low-scoring games. The ball is not popping off the bat by any stretch. There's no spring off the bat. The conditions are not conducive in the low 60s. Damp, wet, heavy air. It's just not, it's just not coming off the bat with any kind of a spring. So having said that as one end, just the terrific New Hampshire, state of New Hampshire, good pitching that comes into all 3 of these games. These guys many of them start out a little rough, but boy, the second inning, they're just getting in the groove. And then when they got into trouble, they worked themselves out of trouble. Their defenses have stepped up beside them for the most part. A couple errors here and there. You're going to have that in the professional game, never mind a high school game. But those two items have really, I think, had a significant fact. Because you look at some of these other scores, and just good competition, good even competition right from the start on all three of these matchups.
Well, to be sure, and like you said, in lieu of maybe some of the gaudy offensive numbers that we've seen in past years, you get a little more focus on the pitching and the defense and the execution of some of the basic fundamentals that
absolutely,
these players
Ben.
are learning.
You're right on, and that's exactly right. And what happens here is when you're up 12-1, it's just a slugfest, and everybody's nobody really gets deep into their repertoire, deep into the talents, the inner small ball talents they have. All three of these games have really challenged the depth of their capabilities outside of just a slaughter rule and or slaughter or a big margin, and they're showing those gifts that they have in those areas that they can play that small ball game very effectively. And boy, this defense, cutoffs, proper throws, don't chase runners, all those things, not perfect, but pretty very good for high school baseball. There's a lot of these kids who are going to go off and play at the college level. They're going to help their teams.
Bottom of the sixth, one out after Jack Fiengo flied out to right. Alex Trudell, the shortstop, takes high and tight for a ball. 1 for 2 today with a single and a strikeout. That one in on the hands, finds its way over to second. Lebrecht with it, quick toss to first. And Philibot has the first 2 outs of the inning.
Yeah, he's really settled down right now. Let's see if this can continue.
7 in a row retired for Philibot, 8 out of the last 9.
Yep.
And only 1 hit allowed since the second inning.
I don't think I've seen a game in June that I can remember where the ball was just dead off the bat as tonight.
Well, in fairness, you don't hopefully see many days like this in June where the temperature doesn't get above 70.
This is kind of like a nice day in April where you expect that.
Yep.
But by June,
Jaden Bisquette swinging a miss there.
His whole mechanics and delivery, his wind-up, his weight distribution, his plant foot, his finish, everything is just working for him right now.
That one's down low, 2-1 to Bisquette. Well, if John Stark is not able to threaten in the 7th, the story of this game is going to be the bottom of the second inning.
Yep.
And the fact that Souhegan was just able to take advantage of Philibot not having settled in before John Stark was able to, before Hickman was able to settle in on the other side pitching.
Yeah, very true. But you can't blame Philibot for the body of work that he's done as a whole. And if you're going to have a bad inning, have it early and then settle in, and that's exactly what he's done.
3-1, pumped in for a strike, 3-2. Just trying to give the bats another chance. Philibot, by the way, is going to be leading off the top of the 7th. That one just inside, and the inning will continue.
Yeah, he's getting. You can tell he wants to be out of this inning, and they're feeling it. Yeah, it's just kind of like getting in the car before you finish waxing it. You know what I mean? You got to finish it. You got to stay in there and recognize, almost work it, and follow through on your fundamentals every minute till it's done. Don't try to rush it out of here. He's trying to rush his pitches a little bit, trying to force it. Very, very common in the later innings of a pitcher who's beginning to hit the end of his best stuff. We'll see.
Brody Smith.
Yeah, nice pitch right there.
That's a called strike, but it bounces away from Harris.
Yep. Oh, you got to guard that plate in this situation. That's almost like getting a free bunt.
That will allow Bisquette to take second base.
Yeah, let's remember that. Those are the kind of things in a game that pass balls and things like that.
And now we may get a change as well here. With Bisquette in scoring position, they might want to call upon a pinch runner. Yeah, that's
exactly what they're going to do. They smell the opportunity here to get a little insurance run.
This will be Jackson Densmore. How about a true freshman coming into this spot here?
Yeah,
granted as a pinch runner.
Speed kills, though. When you've got speed, if you're a freshman, it doesn't matter. Like you said, in a case like this is just about good base running, watching your coach to wave you on, getting a good jump off the ball.
Smith is 1 for 2 with a single and a run scored today. He also has a stolen base to his credit. Trying to gain some insurance for the Sabres here in the 6th.
Nice pitch.
Philibot finds the outside corner with that one.
Well, both pitchers have faced times of a little bit of adversity, and they've got themselves back on track during the middle of the inning. We've seen it all day today.
Fastball popped up into the air. That'll get out of play.
He's got a nice count going on, though, from a pitcher's advantage. We'll see if Chase can finish off.
Chance to get out of the inning again after the 2-out walk. And the last thing Philibot wants to do is have to go back to the top of the order.
Yeah, they also have to watch out for this speedy little freshman on second base, not give him too big a lead. He's not taking it, so they don't really even have to cover him. Surprised.
Swing and a miss.
Big one.
Philibot flexes out after another strikeout.
He should. That young man should be very proud of the work he's done so far. He's kept his team in this game. Only one run down, like you talked about in the second inning. That's the only time it really was in question here where they might have widened the margin. But this kid has dug in deep. He was really messed up, kind of not mechanically sound at all those first 2 innings, and he is been on fire ever since.
On we go to the 7th
credit.
inning. Here from Manchester, John Stark looking to rally in the 7th next on Friday Night Lights here in New Hampshire and the NFHS Network.
Our broadcast today, as it always is brought to you by Beals Insurance Agency, with locations now in both Bedford and Londonderry. Whether you need home, auto, or business insurance, Beals Insurance will get you both the price and quality coverage that's right for you. Just call 603-471-9999 or visit BealsInsurance.com to request a free quote and start saving money today. Again, that's BealsInsurance.com.
Chase Philibot leads it off here in the top of the 7th inning for John Stark. We'll foul that one away. Finished off the bottom of the 6th inning with his 9th strikeout pitching, but his team trails by 1 on the scoreboard. He'll go the other way. High hopper for the second baseman, Silk. And he'll make the play on to first for out number 1. Braden Hickman on the other side trying to close out a complete game victory here for Souhegan. Gave up a couple runs in the first, but has been fairly sharp since. Took some oddities to allow John Stark to score another run in the 5th, make it a 1-run game. But other than that, the defense has been solid behind him, and Hickman has been
he's been outstanding.
Pitching from out in front for the most part. He has 7 strikeouts. Swing and a miss there by the catcher, Aiden Harris.
Took something off of that one. Yep, took something off of that one. Got him to come out ahead. Threw him a little off balance. 1 and 2 is not the hitter's count you're looking for. Let's see if he can get something in play.
That one's a little bit up.
Yep. General crowd really trying to get behind their team.
Soft grounder. Hickman squeezes. Underhand toss in time. 2 down here in the 7th. Last chance for the Generals. It's Aiden Williams, who is 2 for 3 today and has driven in 2 of the 3 General runs. And now this will lead to a mound visit. They're going to make a pitching change? They will. Oh, my goodness. Well, Hickman was about to head back to the dugout, and Chris Metz held him up for a second and said, hey, don't lose track of what you've done here. So Hickman will come out, and it will be Ethan Gaudette who will come out to the mound to try to get the final out for Souhegan.
You don't think it's because of his pitch count, do you? It didn't usually there's a conference at the with the ref.
Can't say for sure. I haven't been tracking
absolutely
pitch
shocked that this is going on here. Wow.
Yeah, I haven't been tracking pitch count, so I don't know if he's at that margin or not. And Gaudette getting hugs and shoulder taps from the rest of the Sabres as he will get ready for what he hopes will be the only batter he sees. Gaudette has thrown 31 1/3 innings this year. Second on the team with 466 pitches thrown.
And he's a junior, so it's not as if it's his last game.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Just behind Joe Mayo, who actually has the most.
Yeah, I'm wondering if he's hitting his pitching mark.
Team high 43 strikeouts for Gaudette in those 31 innings, so better than a strikeout per inning average.
Yep.
And an ERA around 1.5 for Gaudette. So maybe just looking for a strikeout. You don't want a ball in play, even put chance there.
Just Hickman was
Cruising.
cruising unstoppable. That's why I say unless it's for the pitch count issue, and he threw a fair amount of pitches. So, and he's in the 7th inning with 2 outs, so he's gone through every batter but potentially one here. So that could, but if it's not that, that's really surprising.
Well, the final line on Hickman: 6 2/3, 5 hits allowed, 3 runs all earned. He walked 5 and struck out 7, and is in line for the victory. If Gaudette can get one more out, he'll face Aiden Williams, the third baseman, 2 for 3 today for the Generals. First pitch down and away, ball 1. And something to remember, when pitchers have entered the game, whether it's been start of the game, very beginning, middle of the game, somewhere along the road, usually it takes them some time to settle in.
They've done it.
Won't matter for Gaudette, as that one is squeezed in left field, and the Sabres can celebrate. Another redemption story as Souhegan goes from runners-up to rulers of Division II. A 1-2-3 7th inning. Williams flies out to left, and Souhegan holds on for the 4-3 victory.
Well, this Souhegan Sabre team, Ben, has been outstanding today. Watching them, you heard good things about them throughout the season, and obviously did very well in the quarters and the semis here. But you got to give, Hickman, incredible amount of credit. What an absolutely outstanding game by both of these pitchers. We've said it game after game. And that wasn't an easy catch. He came in, that kind of died on him, and he was able to get in there, kept his glove on it, and it was over at that point. But you got to give Souhegan a lot of credit. They played a good, clean game. They played a smart game, and they did all the little things necessary to win a tight game. So take nothing away from either one of these teams. 4-3 tells you everything. I don't think I've been in a championship baseball. We've covered them for a number of years, series like this of Division 1, 2, and 3 that I've seen in any one of those years that had 3 games with such evenly matched competition. So
great battles.
Congratulations to both of these teams. Congratulations especially to Souhegan for being victorious state champions. But alongside of that, Ben, really got to admire these two pitches, what they've done.
Great battles
today.
All the way through, and an unbelievable pitching performance on both sides.
Yep.
Rough first innings for both. The difference ultimately was the second inning. Hickman for Souhegan settled down. Philibot ran into some more trouble. That's when Souhegan took advantage, and of course the big hit, the big 2-run double to left center field from Matt Silk. What a great day this has been. Championship Saturday here at Delta Dental Stadium.
Over yet.
As we got one more championship game to go. It was supposed to be this morning. Rain knocked that one out, so they'll do it tomorrow. Division 4 will be settled between Epping and Woodsville. But that'll do it for us.
Before we go, I'd like to thank our crew. Ben and I sit up here and enjoy this game, doing it together. We've had a great day. I've really enjoyed it. But none of this happens without Matt Beals, our cameraman down at the dugout, John Barron, for an incredible setup here today to get all the stuff. You've been working all week for it. Thank you so much, John. Thank you so much, Matt, and our director with Ben Beals with a flawless effort today, getting things working with the crew here, getting things going, and fixing a quick technical glitch of the first game. Did an outstanding job. Really appreciate the work these guys did. It would not happen at all without their work.
And a big thank you to you as well for setting this all up, and the rest of the Friday Night Lights crew for providing this platform, and a thank you to the New Hampshire Fisher Cats as well.
And one
for
more
use of this
thing,
ballpark.
Bishop Girton, Nick and Roger are over there doing the game. That game is over and complete now. Bishop Girton win. I don't know the final score, but it was like 16-4 when I saw it. So Bishop Girton with another state championship victory, and Portsmouth earlier with a Division II victory. Yep.
And congratulations to Exeter in Division 1.
Oh, boy.
Monadnock Division 3. And the capper tonight, Souhegan, champions of Division 2.
Yep.
The final score, a 4-3 victory over John Stark. For Steve Beals, I'm Ben Alch, our entire Friday Night Lights crew. Thank you for a great day of baseball here in New Hampshire. This has been coverage of the New Hampshire State Baseball Championships on Friday Night Lights New Hampshire in conjunction with the NFHS Network. Good night, everyone.